Welcome back to 94 Feet, ladies and gentlemen. Kade Cameron, Danny Stipanovich, as usual. We're going to keep things a little bit simple today. I guess not really simple, knowing where the NBA landscape is right now in free agency, but keep it kind of simple. Three topics: NBA free agency, fit of the week, and something we haven't done in a while, a copper drop when it comes to some of the sneakers releasing pretty soon. But of course, as I mentioned, free agency is going to be that first thing to kind of bring all of us into this. And Danny, real quick, I just want to say I feel like this free agency has kind of been what's the word for it? Defined by a lot of just extension signings, then also just kind of trade talks. So not really any like major trades happening except maybe that Rudy Gobert trade. So just kind of start things off, Danny. What are your kind of thoughts on free agency right now, and where do you think things could go from pretty much in the next week from now?
I mean, like the biggest storylines this free agency is there's a lot of talking going on. It's Kyrie and KD. They want out of Brooklyn. Obviously, that's a big story, and kind of overshadowing. There hasn't been too many big trades, but still, we had that Dejounte Murray trade. We had the Gobert trade. One that went under the radar, that Malcolm Brogdon trade to the Celtics. I really love that move. We'll get into that later, but overall thoughts, usually the NBA trade deadline is a little bit splashier than what it is, and we'll see if KD and Kyrie get traded or if the Nets are going to bite the bullet. But I was expecting a little bit more splash starting with the draft, and we didn't see it then. So little disappointing. What about you? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree pretty much. I think it kind of just seemed like free agency, like going into it, you had that big discussion about Kyrie wanting out of Brooklyn, possibly seeing the Lakers as a final destination for him. He comes back to signs that option with the Nets, comes back to the Nets. Now there's obviously talks that Russell Westbrook could be traded for Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving actually does find a way to get to Los Angeles, like was discussed at first. So obviously that was one of the big ones. Kevin Durant obviously requesting a trade at this point. A lot of that just being talk right now. I mean, it's probably been a little bit under a week since that happened. And I mean, NBA's Twitter is obviously all over the place trying to figure out exactly where he's trying to go. I mean, people are saying Phoenix, people are saying Toronto, Miami was up there for a little bit. But again, as I mentioned, that's just been all talk recently. Nothing really too significant there. Out of the trades that have happened so far, I mean, you look at DeJounte Murray. I thought that was a great trade for the Hawks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It really does seem like the Celt or not. I keep saying Celtics. This is like the third show in a row that I've done this. The Spurs are trying to kind of just rebuild and just kind of take everything out, just get rid of it. I've heard people trying to say that the Spurs are trying to tank for that number one draft pick for next year, get that one guy from France who I'll say this right now. I mean, I actually saw what this guy looks like. And Chet's a pretty skinny guy, but this guy's skinnier than Chet, in my opinion.
Well, I actually just saw some highlights where it was Chet versus this dude
Hmm.
in a European like match, and he was giving Chet buckets.
Oh yeah,
So
like
this
he
guy
looks
can
good.
shoot from anywhere, Cade. He's skinny, but man, this guy he can shoot from anywhere.
Exactly. I mean, Chet put up some fantastic stats tonight in the summer league. But again, as I mentioned, I mean, it looks like the Spurs are kind of gutting everything out, trying to possibly get that first overall pick, which would be really big. I mean, it's other than Tim Duncan, they really haven't had that one big time player in a while to actually like kind of step up and actually be that leader on that team. So I think that could be really interesting. Um, it's Rudy Gobert to the Timberwolves, which I thought was a really interesting trade in itself. I don't know why the Wolves are trying to go for two centers when they, or I guess I don't know if you'd really Cats. I don't know. Like, I guess he's not a traditional center. When you get a guy like Gobert, you're putting defense in there, so you'd have two big men down low. At the same time, I thought that was a kind of weird trade for the Timberwolves to go after. And then, of course, I mean, Utah getting a
Ooh,
few
Cade,
pieces in
I
it.
like that trade. I liked it.
You like it? See, well, that's the thing, though, is that, like, it's going to benefit both teams in the long run. I just feel like it's a kind of odd trade to see the Wolves go after a guy like Rudy Gobert, especially right after giving Carl Anthony Towns a contract extension. I thought that was just, again, that whole concept was a little bit strange to me. Um, Geez, I forget who I heard this from, but it really does seem like centers in this free agency period are like running backs. They're just, I mean, it's those rookie centers that are kind of not Gobert in this case, but a lot of those like young centers that aren't really getting those contracts at this point. But yeah, no, again, like I said, just going back to the trade, I thought it was just really strange in my opinion. Again, I think there's a lot of other teams that are looking for a center, and it really didn't seem like Utah was really willing to give up that much to trade him away. So I again, like I said, I just think that setup with him going to Minnesota is weird. Not bad for the team. I just think it's weird.
Kate, it's weird, but listen, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm trying to find out when's the last time they won a playoff series. I can't. I don't have time to pull it up, but I think it was
I'll pull it up.
2004
Yeah,
before
that
they won
sounds about right because I remember when they
with
had them in
KD.
the play-in. They're talking about just like between the Twins, the Timberwolves, the Vikings, all of them. It's been so long since really that region has seen actual like championship hope. But yeah, it's been a while. I think 2004 is right. Was the last time that they won a playoff series, which is, I mean, I feel like in the NBA that's a long time. You have droughts that go on for quite a while. I mean, look at the Kings right now, but 2004 since winning a it's been since 2004 since winning a playoff series. That's a while. The Timberwolves have put together some good teams. I think Rudy Gobert is going to be a good fit on that team. I think the thing that just, in my opinion, I think the weird thing that makes this so interesting to me is the fact that it's very much becoming a wing forward league where you're going to want those wing players, you're going to want those 3-point shooters to kind of develop a team around there. And the Timberwolves are kind of taking a step back from that and trying to go all big men, and that's I think part of it that makes it so weird to me.
I feel you on that. I mean, but I just can't. I know, like when that trade went down, people were clowning on the T Wolves, and I get it, like for first. But if you look into how the Timberwolves have drafted, besides Cat and Anthony Edwards, it's like they really haven't done anything. Like I'm going back a couple drafts ago when Steph Curry was available, they had like two top 10 picks, and they took two guards and they weren't Steph Curry. It's like this franchise is not good at drafting. They did give up a lot of depth though, but I like how they're trying something new. The two big man, we saw a team a couple years ago, Boogie and AD try this, and it worked until I think it was Boogie got hurt in the playoffs in that first round. But I like that they're trying something. I think they have something, They took the number 2 team last year to 6 games and they blew like 3 25-point leads. Now they have a center. Maybe they can play some defense. If they can trade D'Angelo Russell and get like a wing like you were talking about, I don't know who they could get. I thought they were going to go after Malcolm Brogdon, but he got sued by the Celtics. But if they can figure out how to move D'Lo, I know D'Lo is just he doesn't play a lick of defense. Maybe that helps that they got Gobert now, but Gobert, a dominant center. A Cat can stretch the floor. He's probably one of the best shooting big men in the league. So it's not like they're going to be clogging up the lane, or like they won't have to be. I do agree. Like I'm not the biggest Gobert fan. He's like almost unplayable in the playoffs, which is weird. But I just can't clown on the Wolves for a team who's won 3 playoff games in like the last 10 years. It's like I can't clown them. They still. I'm looking at the roster right now. They still have some guys. Kyle Anderson, he's not bad as a 6-man. Naz Reid, he was solid last year for them. Jaden McDaniels, okay. Torian Prince, he had some good years with the Nets. He's okay. So I think they have something. I'm gonna say, top 5 team in the West. I like it. I'm believing
Oh,
in
I
Anthony
think
Edwards. Like,
yeah, no, I don't agree with that at all. I see. Here's the thing: is that I like where they're at right now. I think they're going to put together a decent starting five. But when you're talking about top 5 in the West, I think they're still not quite there. Playoff team definitely, but I still think they're going to be a play-in team when April
ooh,
comes
play-in
around
team.
again. Playing, I think they're. See, I think again, I can't clown on this Gobert trade. I think it's a decent trade for the team. Again, like I said, I just think that it's just a kind of odd
Okay,
trade
yeah.
to have.
I'm looking
Top
at the
top
the teams
fives,
in the West. The
top
top
five's a
5
little
might be
bit
tough.
nice.
Yeah,
That's a little
I mean,
generous.
you can take the Jazz out of there. They
Oh
lost
yeah,
Gobert.
100%.
They might move Mitchell. Pelicans or Timberwolves. That's an top 8 team. I'll
Yeah,
throw them in
top
the
8
playoffs. I think top
definitely.
8. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, if I'm thinking about it right now, Warriors are gonna be better. Let's think about who else.
The
Dallas is gonna be
Suns,
better. Suns are gonna be
Mavs,
better. Shoot, who else is in there? I'm blanking so hard on.
Nuggets,
It's
Clippers.
yeah, Nuggets. Oh yeah, okay. There's 5 right there, and I mean, you can maybe push if Zion, if you have a healthy Zion, maybe the
Yeah.
Pelicans right there. So yeah, like I said, I think they're definitely a play-in team, but I don't see them being top 5 right there. But at the end of the day, I think if everybody stays healthy and you look at the way that the Wolves develop their lineup, they don't have a lineup full of people who are getting injured. So I think that's going to help them a lot. I think that's going to help them in the long run. It'd be interesting to see, because my thing right now is that obviously they're going to come up to the trade deadline, and this is a long time in the future. This is just kind of speculating. They're going to be in a position where they can see themselves making a run in the playoffs, but not quite there yet. And I think that's when they're going to start making trades again to actually start trying to develop more of a deeper team and kind of go from there. So, again, like I said, it's a different trade. It's interesting for sure. Just getting two big men, you don't see it in the league anymore, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I could see it working out. Now, real quick, I was going to say I do want to spend some time talking about the Nets as well. We've touched about it, Kyrie and KD. These are now two players that have a huge possibility of making major impacts on teams we both like. So it should be really interesting how this plays out. I mean, it's weird. I mean, it's all talks as of now. It looks like just again, NBA Twitter trying to speculate what trades are going on and kind of what's happening. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out because realistically, it does look like Kevin Durant wants to become a Phoenix Sun. I know the Nets have pushed to try making sure that they're getting some all-star caliber back. But realistically, I feel like for a guy like Kevin Durant, there's not really going to be much all-star caliber that's going to be able to be given up in order to get somebody like that. I think the Nets have a very specific set of people in mind that they want from the teams that Kevin Durant has listed. And it's just not really players that these teams are really wanting to give up. Yeah, real quick, just talking about Kevin Durant. How do you see this all playing out at the end of the day?
If I had to bet money, I do think KD and Kyrie both play on Brooklyn next year. I think they'll take a step back, put on their big boy pants and realize, like, guys, we can figure this out. We're that talented enough. The Lakers, the latest report, I know there's like 50 reports a day, but the latest I'm seeing as of an hour ago is they're not aggressively going for Kyrie, reportedly not being aggressive to the Nets. And if the Lakers don't want Kyrie, Kyrie's not going anywhere else. No one else wants Kyrie. KD, like you said, Cade, no one has enough. What the Nets want, no one's gonna give up. No one's gonna give up a young Devin Booker. How old he is? 24 years old for a 34-year-old Kevin Durant. No one's gonna give up a young superstar, a young all star for KD, who's played what, it feels like 50 games last season, and then going back the past 3 years, he's played like 100 something. He's just been injured the last 3 years. He's aging. I know he's what, top 3 player in the league, but he can't stay healthy. Teams aren't giving up a young star and what, 5 picks, and the Nets want 2 all stars apparently. So if I had to bet money, they're both staying in Brooklyn. And if you look at their roster, like, they have a solid roster still. Ben Simmons as what, your one or your stretch 5. They just signed TJ Warren. That's a great addition off the bench. They still got Patty Mills. Seth Curry's there. Joe Harris. KD, Kyrie, figure it out. This is a solid team. If you had to bet your money, are you saying that both of these guys are playing next year in Brooklyn, Kate, or are you going to say one of them's out?
The way that it seems to be is that at this point in free agency, there's so much moving around and so much happening that you almost feel like there'd be enough talks to actually get something done by this point. I feel like if the
With who?
Nets were actually
KD?
interested in, yeah, for any of them, Katie or Kyrie. I mean, if there is a trade that actually interested the Brooklyn Nets at this point, they would have taken it by now. They've had time to discuss this with plenty of teams around the league. There's a lot that is obviously on the plate with somebody like Kevin Durant, but realistically, like I said, I mean, it's not unheard of a team trading to get a superstar and giving up an entire team to get a superstar. And from what I've seen on Twitter, obviously, I mean, these are just fans and whatnot. There's not real true sources. The Suns are willing to give up a decent amount to get Kevin Durant. The one thing that's stopping them is the fact that I think, or again, like I said, I can't quote this as being true. This is just from stuff I've seen, is the fact that the Suns don't want to give up Mikal Bridges, and that's somebody that the Nets want to have as part of that trade, which makes sense. I mean, Mikal Bridges would be that guy that I think could fill in Brooklyn pretty well. And of course, obviously, the other trade talks of having DeAndre Ian being part of that trade campaign, which I mean, he was a decent bench player for the Suns. Who else is? Cam Johnson, another great bench player for the Suns team. So
That
um,
surprises me that they don't want to give up Mikal Bridges.
I don't necessarily blame the Suns for that. I mean, when you're talking about a runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year, if they can find a way to keep McHale and still get Kevin Durant, you're talking about one of the best starting fives in the NBA, minus a center at the same time. I mean, you're talking about three All-Stars, possibly four, seeing how McHale plays this year. I mean, you're talking about the center position being a little bit of an interesting talking point. I mean, I know the Suns went out, they re-signed Bismack Biyombo. He played pretty good last season, so he could fill in a center. Dario Saric is coming off an ACL injury, but he'd be good to play at the beginning of the season, hopefully. So that's another position that could be filled by somebody on that roster already. So again, like I said, I think it's very interesting to see where things are standing right now. But at the same time, I do agree. I feel like really at this point, something would have happened by now. Kevin Durant's going to be playing in Brooklyn. Same thing with Kyrie. I mean, as mentioned plenty of times, there's the possibility of a swap going on where Russell Westbrook goes out to Brooklyn in exchange for Kyrie Irving. But of course, if KD's not getting traded, there's no way that Brooklyn's going to try making that trade happen. So I agree with that. I think if anything is going to happen with this team, KD would have to be traded first. Then discussion about Kyrie being traded to LA would be in the picture. But as of now, like I said, I agree with you there. I think KD and Kyrie are both going to end up playing in Brooklyn next year. I think they might end up putting together like a pretty good run. I think this might be the first year that you actually see Brooklyn making a real deep playoff run, in my opinion.
Yeah, if they can stay healthy. But I'll go back to your Suns point, Kate. If I'm the Suns, I think you wouldn't do DA, Cam Johnson, Mikel, and like 3 picks for KD, Kevin Durant, top 3 player in the league. You pair him up with Devin Booker, Chris Paul. You still have a solid bench. I know you don't have a center anymore. You lose some depth, but you wouldn't do that.
I don't know. I feel like I'd almost be a little bit more willing to give up somebody like Mikal Bridges if Cam Johnson was still staying on the team, because then you could put Cam Johnson in there. And I think honestly at this point he's developed enough to where he could be a reliable starter throughout the season. Um and whatnot. Um it's obviously just the very classic stuff, just NBA Twitter trying to get up there as much as they can. But it was a trade between it was a three-way trade between the Utah Jazz, Phoenix Suns, and Brooklyn Nets. And the way that it was laid out made it really interesting. And if the Suns could pull off a trade like this between both teams, this would probably be I mean, it'd have to go down as one of the best trades for the Suns history. Um, Again, let me see if I can find it real quick. I
It
think
would be some like it would have to be D Mitchell in there, huh?
no, I don't think so actually.
Really?
Uh the way I'm looking at this is I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. It's fine. I remember it decent enough off memory. Suns were first off. I mean, in this trade, Suns are giving up so much. I think if I remember correctly, DeAndre, they're giving up Campaign, Cam Johnson, Saric, Torrey Craig, Landry Shamet, and then a few draft picks. Um, yeah, crazy amount, like just all over the place. But with that being said, they'd be getting back. I think if I'm correct, they'd be getting back Rudy Gay, Jordan Clarkson, and Kevin Durant. Which I mean, if you get those three players back after giving up all that, I mean, you're talking about again, like I said, if you're able to keep McHale, get a lineup like that, you have a decent bench. You'd have, I mean, obviously still lacking depth. You'd have a decent bench. You'd have a fantastic starting five. And I think that if, like I said, if they were able to pull something like that off, that could be really good.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, if I have to bet money, I think KD's playing in Brooklyn. But
No,
who
I
knows?
agree.
Honestly,
I agree. Like, who knows? You're right, but I just feel like that's the thing that makes the most sense right now. At this point, we would have seen a trade happen real quick. We would have seen a trade by now, even if it was with a team like Miami or Toronto. It would have happened. Real quick before we hit fit of the week, do you really quickly want to just hop into like maybe not really hop into some of the other stuff, but just what are your takeaways on? I mean, I know Jokic signed a contract extension. Devin Booker did. John Wall's now a Clipper. I think that's going to be really interesting. But yeah, any thoughts on those?
those three. I mean, we kind of saw them happening. My biggest surprise was, uh, Kate, I want Bradley Beal to go somewhere else. We'll see. We talked about this last week. Hopefully he requests a trade to for a contender, get him out of Washington. Not too many surprises. I thought Zion signing the 5 year was kind of a surprise. I thought they were gonna let him play one more year and then extend him. But I mean he's good enough to for a 5 year, hopefully, if he can stay healthy. Zach Levine, did he sign a 4 year or 5 year? I forgot.
I think it was a 5 year with the Bulls.
Yeah, that's another fat contract for a guy who hasn't really done too much in the league yet. But not too many surprises as far as extensions go.
Yeah, I agree. I think Um, honestly, I think it's one of those things where, like, if these players are staying healthy, they're 100% earning all the money that they're getting. If not, obviously, teams are losing out big time by signing these extensions. The one thing that also just I think is going to be really interesting to see is that if the Clippers team can stay healthy this year, you're looking at them as being possibly one of the top three teams in the league, which I think could be really interesting to see with John Wall playing with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I mean, that's a team right there in itself. And I think as of now, the only other team that I could see possibly being better would be the Warriors. But even then, if the Warriors continue to run into the injury problems they have over the past few years, and of course the Clippers in the same boat as well. But if they run into the same injury problems, it could shake things up a little bit. But I definitely see the Clippers as being one of the top teams in the West at this point.
Oh yeah, I said this last week. I mean they have the best roster in basketball. If they stay healthy, Kate, they're a top two team in the West, and they're not too.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, with the addition of John Wall, though, that just it changes it up. But
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of my thoughts. You got anything else to go after for
I don't
free
think
agency or
so.
just anything like
Oh,
that?
real quick, I said it earlier in the show. I thought Malcolm Brogdon was a huge addition to the Celtics, a team who, they made it to the finals without a true point guard. I know Marcus Smart kind of clapped back on people saying he's not a true point guard, but let's be real, Smart. He's not a floor general. The team like broke records for the amount of turnovers they had because they don't have someone that can set up an offense and get open shots. It's kind of just ISO ball with JT, JB. So now Malcolm Brogdon, I know no all stars, no he won rookie of the year. That's about it. But this guy can give you 20 points a game. I know he'll probably be coming off the bench, but Malcolm Brogdon as your six man, and then he'll probably end up finishing games too. I thought this was a huge signing, and somehow the Celtics got better after making the finals.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big thing. Is that in the East? I think you could argue that maybe I wouldn't say they got lucky, but they definitely had their help this year.
Yeah, they did.
They played well, but at the same time, I think they could have gone down till Milwaukee if they had a healthy Chris Middleton. I'm not going to sit here and be one of those guys that's like trying to take away from a team because they're playing other teams that have injuries. I mean, I had to sit through an entire postseason when the Suns were going to the finals, having to hear that from every single thing about the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, all that. So I'm not going to put that on the Clippers, Celtics, but at the same time, yeah, it's they could have it could have been a very different postseason for them last year. With the addition of Brogdon, I think that's going to be a big help, and they definitely got better. So that's going to be awesome, obviously great for them. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of play out in the East. But all right, you ready to go into fit of the week though?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I was going to say you won last week, so I'll let you start things off. Real
Okay.
quick though, I feel like this is something where like I start getting closer and then you pull away again. It's just like I'm always having to catch up. So I hopefully I can kind of pull myself back into this, but yeah, to take it away with fit of the week.
I'm going with Jordan Clarkson. I feel like I haven't gone with him in a while. My favorite part of the fit is the sandals, or like I don't know what type of sandals these are called. He's got like the Roman soldiers, got
The
like the
Jesus
spikes
sandals.
on these. Yeah, and haven't seen these before. I don't know. I would rock them without the socks, but I just like how this fit goes together. Kind of baggy. It looks cool. He pulls it off, and he's my fit of the week. I noticed, Kate, you're going with someone I don't think we've had,
I
Jeremy
think it's
Grant
his
for fit of
first
the week.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I like it. I think it's hard to pull off denim on denim or denim on denim. So I think Jordan Clarkson, obviously, I mean, being one of the fit kings of the NBA, he definitely pulls it off really well. With me, I want to go something. It's July. It's the real like hard hitting part of the summer now. Something that's a little bit more of that summer vibe. So yeah, I went with Jeremy Grant. Kind of just rocking. These like It almost looks like Dickies that were cut at like right above the knee. So kind of almost going with that was like at least that's the way I look at it. It's all probably some sort of designer that I've never heard of that I can't even afford. But um, yeah, I think that's a good look. You got the tucked in shirt, the button up, got kind of unbuttoned a little bit, showing some of that jewelry, some of that flash. And like I said, I feel like this just gives off summer vibes. Even the location it's in, it just gives off a lot of summer vibes. So had to rock with something like that. Obviously, of course, Twitter, Instagram will be running those polls. I've been slacking a little bit getting those up, but I promise I'll be getting this one up tomorrow at some point. So yeah, hop over to our Instagram stories, Twitter, vote on who you think won fit of the week this week. And like I said, hopefully I can pull myself back into this, going back into the semester. We're only 6 weeks away now, so there's still some time. But I think I trust myself a little bit,
Get some momentum into the school year. Kate, we only got like
Exactly.
6 weeks left.
It's crazy. I was gonna say what we were like maybe gone for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that, just since the semester ended. And we had to go through the process of setting this all up. We've been going on since then. But yeah, look at that. I mean, it almost feels like it's halfway. I mean, it's July 5th. It's still early on, but like before you know it, it's going to be mid-July. Then it's going to be the end of July. Then we're talking about just right into the school year, that's a scary thing to
Yeah.
think about. But yeah, no, oh god, yeah, that's scary. All right, let's go into something we haven't done in a while, though. As mentioned, cop or drop. With the finals and whatnot, we really haven't had the time to go over sneaker reviews and all of that stuff. And there's been some really good ones over the past few weeks too. I mean, I hit on the Tom Sachs general purpose shoe, which I know I'll say that I've hit on a few over the past few weeks, which I'm happy about. But yeah, I hit on the general purpose shoe. That was a really big one. The Union Cortez collaboration. That was another
Okay.
one that I thought looked pretty good too. I know you were hyped about that one, and it sucks that you weren't able to cop, but that's okay. It happens.
I know those are pretty shoes. I think more are releasing and more Cortezes are releasing, so I'm gonna try and cop those. But either way, the resale's not too crazy on those, so I still might pick those
Exactly.
up. But Kate, you've been cooking this summer, huh?
I know. Hey, have you got anything though?
I just picked up some New Balance 550s. I've been talking about New
Okay.
Balance for too long. I finally woke up early and got some 550s for retail. Just a white and gray colorway, super clean.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, you got to talk about the thrifting find that you were able to get.
Yeah, I also picked up some undefeated 97s Air Max, my first Air Max collection in the thrift. Cade, my size, 10 and a half. It was the thrift gods just blessed me. Little cracks on the side, but they're in great condition for $55. Yeah, they're so comfortable, Kate. I don't know how I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
had Air Maxes yet.
I was gonna say that's nice. I mean, I still want a pair of either the 95s or the 97s, whether it's the undefeated collaborations or not. But yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, wait. Also, what thrift store did you pick those up at? Because I feel like that's something that you'd see at Buffalo Exchange or something like that.
It was a store like Buffalo Exchange. It was like
Okay.
Crossroads. Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, like, if you were able to like pick up something like that at Goodwill or anything like that, that'd be insane. Because Goodwill,
Nah,
you'd
nah,
never
nah.
find something like that. But yeah, no. So I mean, as talked about, I mean, we've both kind of picked up our own stuff. I say that New Balance 550s. That's a good one for you. I still gotta pick myself up a pair. But let's get into kind of some of the sneakers that are coming up.
Real quick, we have to adjust the chat. Kevin Durant to the Kings. If that happens, Cade, I think Kevin Durant might just retire.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think Kings aren't on anybody's top five, let alone probably top 20. So I don't know if he's going to the Kings. But hey, are the Kings a title? Or yeah, are the Kings a title contender if they trade for Kevin Durant?
No,
Yeah,
they're
no, I
not.
agree. He's just going there to play his.
Even if they just sign KD and like they don't trade it for him, like I still don't see them as a
Yeah,
contender.
no, not at all. I can't see anybody really wanting to just willingly play in Sacramento. So I think they're going to be kind of having to tough that out for a long time. But and then also real quick, Zach, if you'd stop gluing quarters to tables at restaurants, maybe you'd have enough money to maybe step up your shoe game. I don't know what it looks like, but I promise you that just step it up, just save those quarters. But yeah, let's get into it. Danny, I'll let you go first, kind of discussing maybe what's that for what just yeah, whatever shoes you feel like are kind of coming up that you were really excited about. I'll let you go first, but what do you think is that first shoe for you that's gonna be really interesting?
Okay, I'm super excited. July 21st, we're getting the Travis Scott one low reverse mochas. Just a beautiful shoe. The color blocking is kind of unique. It's like white and then black on the bread toes. A reverse swoosh, of course, kind of a light brown reverse swoosh. Super clean. Travis loves his brown on the shoes, and the fact that there's some white in there, perfect summer shoe. I'm hoping I can hit on these. I'm gonna be praying. I'm definitely gonna set the alarm clock early for these. But yeah, what do you think about these, Cade?
I was gonna say I've seen the reverse. I feel like it's one of those shoes that a lot of people were talking about for quite some time. It kind of seemed like everybody was talking about how like Travis Scott was wearing them, and I was like, oh, like it'd be awesome if they finally released these. Now it seems like almost a year and a half after that kind of happened. That's just a guess. I'm not sure if it feels exactly a year and a half or whatnot. But yeah, that's going to be one that obviously being a Travis Scott collaboration, a lot of people are going to want. I still think that the original Travis Scott one collaboration that came out, those were probably the best ones. Even the fragment ones, I mean, they were all right, but I still think the originals were the best. But I think the reversed mochas, it's going to be a good shoe. I think again, that's going to be one I hope to wake up for, or not hope to wake up for early enough. I know I'm going to be waking up early enough. Hope I get it, despite my bank account right now, but that's okay. For a pair of Travis Scott ones, I'll take it. But yeah, that's definitely a cop for me. I think, yeah, a lot of those shoes Travis Scott doesn't really miss on, so I think it's going to be a good one. And that reverse mocha colorway, it's a good one as well. One thing that I have got to talk about, I feel like we mentioned this probably on the first show that we've ever had, where the Knock the Hot Steps, the Drake shoes that were supposed to come out. I feel like they just continue to push back the date on these, but finally July 7th, we actually have them coming out. These seem like a glorified dad shoe, in my opinion. And I honestly, that kind of chunky silhouette, they do a fantastic job with it. I mean, they make it look good. It's a great looking shoe, in my opinion, if you do like that chunky style, which I think is a great style. I wish they honestly kept this for maybe like a winter release, just because I feel like these are a better winter shoe. But even then, I mean, they're going to be a great shoe to have around. I think it's going to be a fantastic shoe. So yeah, I got to go cop on these.
They're also dropping. I don't know if you saw, Cade, the purple colorway too in
Oh,
these,
damn.
and the triple black. So, they are definitely pushing.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think it's going to be an interesting. I think the reaction to this is going to be interesting because, like I said, it's like I don't know if a lot. I don't know if a lot of people are really just fans of chunky shoes. I think it's one of those styles that's a little harder to pull off. But I think it's. I mean, like I said, I feel like they do a really good job with this one. So I think it's going to be a very hit or miss reaction, um, with this, in my opinion. But yeah, again, like I said, I think it's a cop. You look into the comments too.
Hey Jesse, just because you're live here, I'm gonna smoke you out next time if I ever see you. Next time I see you.
There you go. I was going to say, hey, and real quick, I got to go back to it. I saw what Zach was saying. Jesse calling out Zach for having fake Yeezys, and then Zach hitting them with, yeah, I have fake Air Force Ones. Why pay 90 when you can pay 85? That's why you save your quarter so you can get the real stuff. That's Zach. That's what I'm saying.
Which you save $5 for some fake Air Force Ones, bro? Did you buy fake white on whites? What did you buy?
Zach, we got to hear this.
Kate, if you buy fake white on whites, I don't even know what to tell you.
Dude, I'm not. I don't think I would buy. I don't know. I'll. This is gonna be a hot take. I understand the hype around Air Forces, but I don't think I'll ever see myself buying a pair of white on whites. I'm not a huge fan of the. If they're the high tops, maybe the low top Air Forces, I'm just not a fan of.
That's a hot take. The white on white Air Force Ones were my first sneaker I ever got.
Yeah, I mean they're a classic shoe. Don't get me wrong, but I'll admit it might just be the sorority girls maybe ruin it for me. Just seeing them wearing it consistently. Like I know
they wear dirty ones, man.
They ruin it. You know what I mean? I'm just not a fan of that. But I mean, we've talked about in the past. I feel like there's just those shoes that kind of have ruined it for sneakers. We could talk about this on another day for sure. But like the Panda Dunks, you have some of the Yeezys that dropped. Blazers, they're all like good silhouettes, but I feel like just the way that they're worn these days kind of just ruin the vibe for it. So, yeah, that's just kind of my opinion.
The fake Travis Scott ones. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at fake sneakers, honestly. I mean, like who's dropping a 1.5K on Travis Scott ones? Plus,
Oh yeah, I
especially
agree.
the Mocha ones, those fakes look so real. But you want to get into the next shoe, K? We're
Yeah,
going
okay,
south.
for sure. Oh yeah, what you'll go again? Which one are you looking at next for
Okay,
talking about?
I don't know if you've seen these, but releasing August 13th, the Jordan 1 yellow toes. It's like the bread colorway blocking where except it's yellow and Jordan Brand hasn't released a yellow sneaker like this before. I know they dropped the Pollens recently, but those were bricks. I don't think anyone those were sitting probably in Foot Locker still. And then they dropped the No Photos with little yellow, 2019, but they're finally releasing these yellow toes, and I feel like these got leaked like a couple of years ago, and I don't know if the hype is still there because people really aren't talking about it too much, but I'm still hyped. This is a clean summer shoe. I wish it released maybe, in like, I don't know, April for the summer. It's kind of releasing late summer. But what do you think about these, kid? Have you seen these?
No, I actually haven't, and this is I mean, I just looked it up right now, but I mean, it's a good looking shoe. I thought the Pawns were like a decent shoe. I think
Yeah,
it's weird because
really?
you have. I thought they were decent, not like great. I think there was a little bit too much yellow and black in my opinion. They did remind, or the Pollens did remind me of the Marina Blues that dropped back in February. Kind of same color blocking, except obviously yellow and blue. But I think this is a good shoe for you. I think it's a good shoe overall. I mean, I feel like with something like this, I mean, I don't have much to say about it. I just think it's a pretty good shoe for a yellow shoe, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean,
What you
that's
got next? Is that that's a cop? We haven't been saying cop or job, but I'm saying cop.
yeah, I'm saying cop
Yeah.
there too. Next one I got, and I mean, I could go down the list here for some of the recent stuff, but I'm going one that I think could be a little. I think depending on what you're looking at, it could be a little bit different for each. But the Jordan 2 Nina Chanel Abney, I hope I'm saying that right, but I mean, it's weird because it's a very simple silhouette of the Jordan 2. But I mean, again, as you mentioned, I mean, you called it very beginning of the year that Jordan 2 has a possibility of being sneaker of the year, and it's showing in the countless collaborations Nike's been putting out with it. But yeah, I think, and they're doing two separate ones. They're doing the high top with the red and the low top with the green. Kind of matches the clothing, uh, clothing that they're putting out with it. Um, and here's my thing with these. I like the Jordan 2 silhouette. I think it's a great silhouette. They do a good job at keeping that while also being very kind of simple and like clean with it as well. Uh, but the $250 price point makes it a little more difficult to actually get me in, like to like spend that much on a shoe. And I mean, like I said, it's a good shoe in my opinion. And then they're asking 225 for the lows, and I think the lows aren't really that good of a looking shoe in this case. So for 225 for the lows, that's definitely a drop for me. I don't think I'm going to try going for those. I know people will, but that's personally not one of my favorites. And then the white and gym red Jordan 2 highs. I would make an effort to try getting those maybe, but again, at the same time, I'd have to know I'm like pretty financially stable enough to actually go for something like that. So I'm kind of on the fence about those. But right now,
Um,
I'd probably say drop for that, just knowing where I'm at.
Yeah, these got to be a drop for me too. This is probably the worst Jordan 2 collab. We've kind of been blessed. We had the Union collab, the AMA collab, and then these kind of look these are kind of boring compared to the other two collabs. Especially with that retail 225, 250. I'm going to drop on both of these. I kind of like the low pair, that green pair, more than the red pair. But the Jordan 2 Chicago I saw is releasing soon also, and
Ooh,
I'd
that's gonna
much
be
rather
good.
have those than these high top Nina Chanel's.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a nice one. Don't get me wrong. I just think there's so many other Jordan, and maybe if there weren't some of those other collaborations that dropped, I'd be a little bit more interested. But like you said, I mean, you had the AMA twos, you had the Union twos, you had, I mean, pretty recently the Off White twos. I mean, some of these really good collaborations. Um, but yeah, this isn't it. No, Zach, I'm not getting a neck tat. Um, but yeah, it's not going to be the best one. But all right, Danny, let's. How many more shoes you want to do? Because I think I can probably do two more.
I got two more lined up, but
Okay, we'll do that.
okay. Next up, the Yeezy 350 Turtle Doves coming in August this year. We don't have the exact date yet, but people are saying it's gonna be on Yeezy Day, which is August 1st, and Yeezy's gonna re-release like 50 shoes, and the Turtle Doves will be on that list, hopefully, either the first or second. And it's just a beautiful shoe in my opinion. These dropped in 2015. No one thought these were gonna re-release, and apparently these are like similar to the 2015 pair, pretty much the same makeup. Everything's pretty much the same. They're not switching it up. It's really just a re-release, and I can't be more hyped for these. I really hope I hit. Since Yeezy's going to be dropping so many shoes on this day, I'm hoping that that opens it up for these are easier to cop than they normally would be. So I'm praying to the Yeezy guys for these.
One thing I will say about the Adidas Confirmed app is I feel like they're so bad about like actually like spreading news about new drops. So it's like I feel like sometimes they'll get some really nice stuff out there, but I hear about it like a week after. I can't do anything about it. I hope that's not the case with these because again, I mentioned it a little earlier on. I think the Yeezys are very overplayed shoe. But again, when you have these classic Yeezy styles, I think it's one of those timeless pieces that you can't get over. So yeah, no, I definitely have to be a cop on those as well. I think those are going to be a fantastic shoe. And again, the Turtle Dove's probably one of the most iconic Yeezy Adidas collaborations that they've had. I'm a big fan of it. Also, real quick, I just got to mention this. Jesse, I agree. I think Anthony Bennett might be the worst. He's definitely maybe not the worst player in NBA history, but definitely the biggest bust.
I think
And I
that sounds
also
like a
like
fun
it.
subject. Worst players in NBA history.
Or just yeah, even just like biggest bust, like worst, yeah, all that. Jesse, we
Yeah.
might have to get you on for that conversation. Who knows? And then Danny, you ever want to be the GM for the Kings?
If the Kings make me their GM, Cade, I'm taking them to the chip.
Oh, okay, yeah, I bet you are. I was gonna say, hey, then you see a rematch of that 2002 playoff Western Conference Finals, and it's a repeat of what happened there too.
You don't want
Um,
me matched up against the Lakers. Who knows? Who knows what
I
I'll
will
what I'll
say
have my team do.
exactly. Okay, so for the next one I'm doing, I'm gonna put these two together because I think they're pretty much. I mean, obviously not calling them the exact team names, but July 14th, you got the Mets high top dunk and the Phillies low top dunk. One of the things that I really like about these shoes is they're kind of going to the more traditional colorways of these teams. So you look at the Mets high top dunk, they're going with the gray silhouette, gum bottoms, a primarily blue swoosh with the orange outline, which again I feel like kind of gives a little bit more of a retro vibe. And I think the SB Dunk Low in that Philly colorway, and I know that's not what they're calling on the sneakers app or whatnot, but I mean I think this might be like a like no collaboration involved, one of the best shoes of the year so far. That SB Dunk, that baby blue, like throughout the our upper of it, the deep red swoosh. I think that's a solid shoe. I'm not sure if I'd go after the orange and blue colorway, but that Phillies colorway is just so nice. It's such a good looking shoe. I don't know why, but it almost gives me the vibes of when Nike released the lobster pack. It gives me kind of those same vibes. So that's one of those shoes where I mean, based off the price point and whatnot, doesn't matter how much I have in my bank account. I think I'm definitely going to try going for those shoes.
I think I'm dropping on these Mets colorway. I've never been the biggest fan of gum bottoms. Plus, I don't know if I'm feeling like the gray shoe with
Yeah, that's a kind of hard to work with.
So I think I'll drop the Mets. The Phillies are clean. I saw these earlier in the week. I don't think I'll go for these, but I'll go for Cobb.
I was gonna say I think those are I like the like kind of traditional gum outsole, but like I think the Phillies colorway does such a good job just kind of tying in that old style that is kind of coming back up in the MLB. I think that's a fantastic looking shoe overall. But yeah, Danny, let's hear your last one for today.
Eh, Jesse, real quick, Dacramento. I love that. I would first thing as a Kings GM, I'm moving the team to Seattle, so we don't got to worry about saving the entire
Hey,
economy of
that's a good fan
Sacramento.
base up there too, for the most
Yeah,
part.
I don't know if
I
they
was
want the
gonna
Kings, but I'm
say
I'm changing the name too. And yes, I would be a G League GM for minimum wage. I don't know about UK, but that would be a dream come true.
for minimum wage. I don't know if I could be a G League for minimum wage. I'd take something else, but maybe not G League minimum. Or I'd be a G League player.
Also, where's
Uh,
the summer league this year? Is it in Utah or
there's
is it
one in
Vegas?
Utah. Um, One in oh shoot, is it? I think in Golden State. Um, Let me look this up real quick because one thing I'll also say about real quick about summer league is I feel like the West Coast does summer league right, because you look at it out on the East Coast, they're playing in their practice facilities, but like the summer league actually, like out west, they actually make an effort to do a good job actually like bringing people out to it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Hey, next summer we might have to do a road trip to Summer League, hey? That
I'm down. Hey, I'm kind of
yeah.
disappointed because I was up in Salt Lake. When was that? That was mid June, and I was there the day after they released their new uniforms, and they have like this whole event and whatnot. And like one of the things that was going on is that if you bought something in the store, you could get free G League tickets, or not G League tickets, Summer League tickets.
Oh.
And it sucks because it's like now it's like I would 100% hop on a plane and go back up if it wasn't for the fact that I was in class right now. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm yeah, G League. I keep saying G League, Summer League tickets. Probably not too expensive. I think it'd be a fun. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? I mean, I'll go out to Cali for a summer league game.
Jesse, you can only you're part of the squad if you can beat Caden one-on-one.
I
Is
don't
there
trust my abilities that much, so I think he might be able to be part of the squad. So
Also, Jesse, we have joked that last season, Cade definitely could have played some minutes on either the Thunder or the Trailblazers.
I still think I can. Dude, here's my thing is that like it's no now we go to ASU after watching that Washington State game where ASU was down what 10-19 at halftime. I was fully ready to suit up for a tryout. I was so ready to go there. I thought I had a chance to like Bobby Hurley put me in.
You were waiting, I'm sure.
I was checking like the thing. I was checking like some of the websites that ASU put out too, being like what do I have to do to like see if there's tryouts or whatnot. But um, yeah, no. Hey, Zach, don't say it like that. You might be able to, but I was gonna say I don't think a lot of people recognize. I'm a defensive monster on the court. That's all I'll say.
94 feet one-on-one tourney.
Oh,
94
I
feet.
like that. We might have to put that together next year.
Okay.
I was gonna say that might be something. All right, but let's finish this up, Danny. What's your
Okay.
next sneaker for
L- last sneaker. I'm throwing the I don't know if you've seen these Jordan 5 DJ Khaled collection, We the Best
Ooh,
collection, Cade.
no.
It's a pack of 5 Jordan 5s, all Miami themed colorways. There's some cream bottoms. If you could pull that up, tell me which one's your favorite colorway. My favorite color is purple, so mine is obviously the purple on purple Jordan 5. I also really like that cream one with like the lavender and light blue on the bottom. These are rumored to drop this summer, not an exact release date, but I wanted to get your opinion. Which one do you think is the best pair?
I like it better. Loser of the tourney gets to be GM for the Kings. Um, yeah, this is honestly the way I look at this gives me like the vibes that it's an Easter drop. Like it's kind of like
Oh,
some like Easter stuff that's put out in the past. The only ones that I feel like I could really rock would be like the deep purple ones. Like the lavender ones aren't that good. The teal isn't that good. Dark blue. I mean, it's wouldn't be bad if it wasn't a fully dark blue shoe. Um, yeah, I'm not a fan of these at all, honestly. Even the purple ones, I'm not a huge fan of either. I'd have to say drop on these.
all of them, all 5.
Yeah, honestly, all five.
Wow.
That's my. I
Okay,
mean, honestly, I like the purple ones, but even then, I know like I'd get them, and then I wouldn't touch them for.
fair enough.
I just wouldn't touch them. So,
What's the last
um,
sneaker for you?
so I was kind of on the fence about this one. I thought this could be interesting just because of a similar shoe that had um, a lot of just kind of like lashback and whatnot from Nike. But you remember when Lil Nas X had those like demon shoes for
Oh yeah.
releasing? I think it was I don't know what song of his was. But now Nike's releasing an Air Max 97 black and university red. Very similar looks to what Concepts released with Lil Nas X for those like demon shoes. Um, I'm not a huge fan of black on red shoes, and I say that owning a pair of the Thunder Red Crimson fours, which for the people watching, I'm selling those. So if you're a size 15, feel free to reach
Hey,
out.
bro.
But
Good luck with that.
yeah, no. So that's something that I'm not a huge fan of black and red on shoes. I like the fact these are more all black, but even then, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of all black shoes. I'm pretty what's the word? I guess strict is the best word for what I do for an all black shoe. But yeah, I mean, these aren't terrible. I'd still say drop on these. I don't think I'd take the time to actually wake up early enough for that, but again, I could see a lot of people rocking these possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go drop on these as well.
Yeah, just not a huge fan. Also, Jess, I was in Tucson at the time. If I was in Phoenix, I mean, I tried making an effort to come up here, but just didn't work out for me. But at the same time, yeah. Oh yeah, no, bearded horse. Yeah, I agree. No free ads. We don't do that at 94 feet. We had to take out the. We're not going to say the name of the show because we're not giving free ads. We have to take away their poster because I think he knew what he was doing when he was putting that poster up. He knew we were going to be filming in there.
Wait, did
So
they know about that?
I don't think so. All right.
Oh yeah,
Little backstory. So back when we were in the studio,
we were
there's
like the
one
only
guy.
show that recorded our shows.
Yeah, yeah. We were one. I think other than How to Sports with Austin because he kind
Uh
of
huh.
hopped on after we did, but yeah, nobody was recording their shows except for us. And every Saturday that we're in there, there's this one guy. We're not going to name names. I mean, again, this because this would be giving away free ads, but there's a guy in there every Saturday, lived in that area, just watching college basketball, college football, whatever was on. Um, and we go in the studio one day, and just sitting up like perfectly behind me is a like an ad for his, which is like or like a poster for an ad for his,
It
which
was
is
like a
like
poster board promoting his show.
yeah, but it was like almost like he bought it, like meant for like display stuff, and
Angled,
it's like
angled to where we put our cameras too.
yeah, exactly. So it's like I was looking at that. I was like, I have a gut feeling that he put that there for the like to actually just get an ad in there. So of course, I mean, we put it to the side. Like we're not giving away free ads and whatnot. Actually, I think we forgot to put it to the side in one of the episodes. So if you go back to when the school year was on, you might see it in one of the back of the episodes. So, but yeah, no, it's no free ads on this show. You know, if you want to get an ad on here, talk to us. We'll gladly
Yeah.
take maybe some free merch if anything. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see about that. We're up for ads though. I'm up open for it. Danny, you open for ads?
Yeah, why not?
I was gonna say it could work out. So yeah, no,
Hey,
I
next summer though, we're doing an Airbnb for with the fans, Cade.
hey, oh okay, I like that. I was
For
gonna
the
say
summer
so.
league. Also,
Yeah.
Jesse, you didn't notice my pink eye. Jesse, I'm
Oh my
surprised.
god. Yeah, yeah. Let people know that you got pink eye. That's gonna go over real well in the comments.
You know, we're an hour into the show. These guys are some loyal listeners.
Zach, why you calling out my high school like that, Zach? That's kind of. I mean, I got it on Instagram, so it's not that bad. But dang, all right, you calling out my high school like that? That's okay. I'll say this right now. My basketball team back in high school was not good at all. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, shoot. I'm trying to think. Our best player. Yeah, no, I think our best player played like half the season because he got suspended for smoking a wax pen on the back of the
Oh my
bus.
gosh.
Yeah, yeah. It's like he like flows like hits a fat cloud like in the back of the bus. Like everybody could smell it. I'm sitting up in the front because my knee's all wrapped up, and like all I see is one of the assistant coaches like whip his head back. Like it's like who was that? You look back, he throws it out the window, and it's like okay, like it's kind of obvious what's happening here. So yeah, it was a dumpster fire. But I mean, I was for my senior year, it was so much fun still, so I can't complain. Shoot, I was gonna say since it's the off season, that's what we should do. We should just have it like a day where we just talk about like old high school basketball stuff.
Yeah, for
Dude,
sure.
just like bring back some of the memories. Try getting the fans in here, let them talk about their basketball careers back in high school if they played basketball or whatnot. But yeah, no, I think that's definitely something we can talk about for sure. I
I'm
mean,
down.
I was gonna say it's the summer. You know that I feel like once free agency ends and summer league ends, there's not going to be too much to talk about when it comes to the NBA. So I was gonna say I think that's going to be a perfect opportunity to just open up to the fans and let them kind of I mean I feel like we've been doing a good job like keeping in touch with them and whatnot. I mean I feel like every day we get more fans kind of tuning in. We appreciate you guys all for that. But yeah, I
Okay,
do
real
want to
quick.
spend those times. Yeah, what's
You
up?
were talking about the shout out to the fans, Kate. We had a record high 5 viewers at one point on Twitch.
Hey, look at that record
Yeah.
high. See, we're making progress every day. It's happening. So I'm gonna say, tell your friends about it. Get them on here. We're gonna do everything you can to get them involved. And like I said, I mean, it's all a bunch of fun stuff. Yeah, we making it out of the mud, Zach. I appreciate that. But yeah, you guys, we're gonna remember you guys as some of the first ones to really be part of this. I mean, who knows where we're gonna be in a 6 months, a year from now, past that, but. I say you're making this also memorable for us. Hopefully, we're making it memorable for you guys. And yeah, I mean, I feel like that's something we can definitely expect in the future is just more fan involvement with the show and trying to get people on here. So yeah, Danny, you got anything else to kind of talk about for the rest of the night?
I think that's it. Hopefully next week, Kyrie will be a Laker, and Russell Westbrook will be on the Nets. But that's
Let's
about it.
hopefully KD's the Phoenix Sun after this week.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. All right, but we thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. We had a great time with the fans tonight, and of course, we'll be back next week. Monday, Tuesday, I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll let you guys know. We'll keep in touch. We'll make sure we get that all out there. But yeah, thank you guys all again. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week.